The first human railgun fired, and every alien fleet stopped instantly. Liam Harper sat in the small observation room of the orbital shipyard, staring at the view of Earth below. The blue planet seemed calm from this height, peaceful and unaware of the storms that waited beyond the stars. Liam had always loved this view. It reminded him why he worked in space, why he spent years building machines that most humans could not even imagine. The room around him was quiet except for the faint hum of the station's engines. He leaned back in his chair, rubbing his tired eyes. Months of work had left him exhausted, but he felt excitement too. The project he was working on now was unlike anything humanity had ever tried. It was dangerous, ambitious, and some would call it impossible. A soft knock on the door made him turn. Zoe Parker stepped in, carrying a tablet. She was one of the few people who truly understood him and his work. Her eyes were sharp and full of curiosity, always asking questions that no one else dared. "Liam," she said, her voice calm but firm, "you've been sitting here for hours. Come on, we need to check the railgun systems again." Liam smiled faintly. "I know, Zoe. I just like to look at Earth sometimes. It keeps me grounded." Zoe stepped closer, looking out the window. "Grounded? You mean you like to think about all the people down there who will never know what we are about to do?" He shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm thinking about how fragile everything is. One mistake up here, one miscalculation, and all of it, this station, the railgun, Earth, could be destroyed." Zoe shook her head, her long brown hair brushing her shoulders. "You worry too much. That railgun is going to work. You designed it, you know what it can do." Liam leaned forward, resting his hands on the desk. "I know it can fire a projectile at incredible speed, but it's not just about speed. It's about control, accuracy. The energy, if we make one wrong calculation, the shot could go anywhere, and that would be bad." Zoe placed her hand on his shoulder. "That's why we test it first, step by step, nothing reckless. You've built a marvel, Liam. Don't let fear stop you." He nodded slowly. Her words helped, but he still felt the weight of the responsibility. This railgun was not just a weapon. It was a statement. Humanity had been underestimated for centuries. The aliens thought Earth was weak, that humans were insignificant. They had no idea what humans were capable of. The railgun itself was a massive machine, larger than any weapon humans had built before. It stretched across the deck of the orbital platform like a silver spine. Its rails glimmered under the artificial lights, polished to perfection. Liam had spent years calculating the physics, the energy requirements, the structural design. Every part of it was carefully planned. "Ready?" Zoe asked, checking the tablet. Liam nodded. "Yes." "Let's run the systems check one more time." They walked toward the control room where the engineers were monitoring the weapon. Screens displayed streams of data, showing power levels, magnetic field strength, targeting calibration, and orbital coordinates. Liam's heart beat faster as he watched the numbers scroll. Every figure had to be exact. Every reading had to match the calculations. "Power levels stable," said one of the engineers, a young man named Eric. "Magnetic rails are at full readiness. Targeting systems online." "All diagnostics are green," Liam nodded, scanning the readouts. "Good, let's run the simulated test. No firing yet, just a virtual shot to make sure the systems respond." The simulation began. On the screens, a small projectile appeared, moving along the rails, accelerating with incredible speed. It followed the calculated trajectory perfectly, hitting its target with pinpoint precision. Zoe let out a small laugh. "Looks like perfection to me." Liam smiled but did not relax. Perfection on a screen is one thing, reality is different. He thought about the aliens, the fleets that had dismissed humanity for so long. They had watched Earth grow, they had seen humans explore space, but they had not understood the depth of human innovation. The railgun was the proof. It was more than a weapon, it was a message. Later, Liam returned to the observation window. Earth spun slowly below, peaceful and unaware of the changes happening in orbit. He thought about the humans on the planet, going about their lives, working, laughing, living. They had no idea that a machine capable of changing the balance of power in the galaxy hovered above them. "Do you ever wonder," Zoe asked, joining him again, "if we're going too far, if humanity shouldn't have something like this?" Liam considered her question carefully. "We've always been underestimated, and we've always found ways to survive, to grow, to fight back. This railgun, it's not about attacking anyone. It's about showing that humans are not to be ignored. If someone threatens Earth, we need to be ready. That's all." Zoe nodded slowly. "I suppose, but it still feels heavy. All this power in one weapon. One shot could destroy a fleet." "Yes," Liam said quietly, "and one shot could save millions of lives. It's a choice. That's what makes it human." They walked back to the control room. The engineers were running final tests, checking every connection, every sensor, every magnetic coil. Liam ran his hands along the railgun surface, feeling the cold metal. It was solid, unyielding, a perfect combination of strength and precision. He had built it to endure the unimaginable forces of space, to fire a projectile faster than anything that had ever flown. "Systems are ready for initial calibration," Eric said. "We're waiting on your command." Liam took a deep breath. He thought about the first firing, the first time the railgun would release all its stored energy. It would be a small test shot, harmless, but it would mark the beginning of something new. "Calibration," Liam said. "Let's begin." The room fell silent except for the hum of the machines. On the screens, the railgun's power levels began to rise. The magnetic fields built slowly, then faster, until the rails glowed with energy. Liam watched closely, making adjustments, ensuring everything remained within safe limits. Zoe stood beside him, watching the readouts. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Liam smiled faintly. "It's dangerous too, beautiful and dangerous." The test began. The railgun fired a small projectile along a carefully plotted path. On the screens, it moved with perfect accuracy, hitting the target exactly where it was intended. The engineers cheered, and Liam allowed himself a small smile. "Excellent," he said. "Systems are functioning as expected." But even as he celebrated, a thought came to him. This was only the beginning. The real challenge would come when the railgun was ready for action against an enemy that did not understand it, an enemy that thought humans were weak. He thought of the alien fleets, the vast armadas that stretched across the galaxy. They had weapons, technology, and numbers, but they lacked something humans had always possessed: creativity, courage, and the willingness to take risks. Liam knew the day would come when humanity would have to defend itself, when humans would have to show the galaxy what they were capable of. And when that day arrived, the railgun would speak for humanity. Zoe touched his arm. "You know," she said, "humans have always been underestimated. Maybe it's time they finally see what we can do." He looked at her, determination in his eyes. "Yes, but first we make sure this weapon works perfectly. Then the rest of the galaxy will see." The day passed slowly. Liam and Zoe worked through the final adjustments, calibrating the railgun for full power. Every test, every reading, every calculation had to be perfect. Mistakes were not allowed. By the end of the day, Liam stood once again by the observation window. Earth rotated silently below, oceans and continents glowing under the sunlight. The station above, the railgun, and the humans who built it were ready. Liam felt a surge of pride. Humanity had reached a point where it could defend itself, where it could make the galaxy take notice. He did not know when the moment would come, but he knew it would. "Tomorrow," he whispered to himself, "we begin something new. Humanity will not be ignored." Zoe joined him silently. Together, they watched the planet below, thinking about the future, about the challenges that awaited them. The railgun rested in the orbital platform, silent and powerful, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. And far across the stars, unknown to humans, eyes were watching. Rumors of the human superweapon had begun to spread among alien fleets. They had dismissed it as exaggeration, a myth. But soon they would learn that humans were very real and very dangerous. Liam turned back to the railgun, running his hand along the rails. He felt the weight of responsibility, the hope, and the promise of what was to come. This weapon was more than a machine. It was the first step toward a new era, an era where humanity would no longer hide in the shadows. He took a deep breath, steadying himself. The quiet hum of the station filled the room. Tomorrow they would continue tests, but tonight he allowed himself a rare moment of calm. He looked at Earth once more, and a small, confident smile appeared on his face. Humanity was ready. The first human railgun had been completed. And when it fired for the first time, the galaxy would never be the same. Liam Harper woke early in the orbital station, the glow of Earth below cutting through the observation window. The planet looked peaceful, with oceans stretching endlessly and clouds drifting lazily across continents. But Liam knew the calm was fragile. Out there in space, alien fleets were moving closer, their intentions unclear, their power undeniable. Humanity had prepared, but this was the first real test of everything he had built. Zoe Parker entered the room carrying a tablet and a small tray with 2 cups of coffee. "Good morning," she said. "Sleep well." Liam shook his head slightly, rubbing his eyes. "Not really. I keep thinking about the fleets. They are coming, sooner than anyone expects." Zoe handed him a cup. "We've done everything we can. The railgun is ready. The Aurora shield is in position and the defenses are online. You built a marvel, Liam. Now we just wait for the moment it is needed." He took a sip of coffee, feeling the warmth spread through him. "It's not just waiting," he said quietly. "It's about timing. We have to strike when it matters, or all this effort will mean nothing." Zoe sat beside him, looking at the view of Earth. "Do you ever wonder what they think of us? The aliens. They think we are weak, backward, easy to conquer, and they might be right if we hadn't built this." Liam nodded. "Exactly. They underestimate humans. And that is our advantage. They don't see the mind behind the machine, the courage behind the numbers, or the determination behind our hands. That is why the railgun will work." The orbital station was alive with activity. Engineers and technicians moved through corridors, checking systems, running diagnostics, and preparing the platform for possible engagement. The Aurora shield, which carried the railgun, floated silently in orbit above Earth, massive and gleaming under the sunlight. It looked almost peaceful, like a sculpture suspended in space, but Liam knew it held a destructive force unmatched in human history. In the control room, Eric, the young engineer, spoke up. "Power levels stable, railgun ready for operational tests. Targeting systems synced with orbital coordinates." Liam nodded. "Good, let's run the final calibration. Nothing fired yet, just full systems check." Zoe leaned over the control panel, watching the readouts. "I still can't get over how fast that projectile can go. One shot and it could reach anywhere in this sector before anyone even realizes what happened." "That's why accuracy is crucial," Liam said. "Speed without control is useless. The aliens will panic if they see it, yes, but we have to make it precise. Every shot counts." They ran the calibration tests carefully. Magnetic fields surged along the rails, and sensors measured the energy flow with extreme precision. Liam and Zoe monitored the data closely, making tiny adjustments. Every reading had to match the calculations perfectly. After hours of testing, Liam finally allowed himself a small nod of satisfaction. "All systems nominal. The railgun is ready for operational use." Just then, a signal came in from Earth Command. It was urgent and clear. Alien fleets had been detected near the outer edge of human-monitored space. Scouts reported hundreds of vessels, moving in formations that suggested coordination and intent. They were coming closer. Zoe stiffened. "They're moving faster than expected. How much time do we have?" Liam studied the projections. A few days at most, enough for us to prepare but not for mistakes. He paused. We may have our first real chance to show them what humans are capable of. Orders came quickly. The Aurora shield would move to a strategic location near the outer jump point. From there, the railgun could reach any approaching fleet with a single shot. It was risky, but there was no other choice. If humans waited too long, the aliens might strike first. Liam walked the platform with Zoe, observing the preparations. The crew moved with confidence and precision. Everyone had been trained and everyone trusted the weapon. Yet Liam could feel the tension in the air. There was a weight to this mission, an understanding that failure could cost millions of lives. "Do you ever think about what happens if they fire first?" Zoe asked. Liam stopped, looking at her. "Yes, every day, but that's why we built this railgun. To make sure they never get the chance." The Aurora shield adjusted its orbit, positioning itself above a dark stretch of space where the jump point connected to the outer system. Liam watched the displays, noting every coordinate and every angle. He had calculated the trajectory so precisely that the railgun could hit targets across tens of millions of kilometers. It was a combination of speed, power, and human ingenuity that no alien fleet could match. The first scouts appeared on the sensors. Small ships, fast and maneuverable, approaching cautiously. The aliens had heard rumors of the human weapon, but they had dismissed them. They believed Earth's technology was primitive compared to the fleets that patrolled the galaxy. Liam studied the approaching ships on the screen. "They don't know what they are facing," he said, "and that is our advantage." Zoe placed a hand on his shoulder. "I hope you're ready for what comes next. The moment we fire, there is no turning back." He nodded. "I know. But we are ready. Humanity is ready." As the alien scouts came closer, Liam initiated a small demonstration. A minor test shot, just to warn the aliens without causing destruction. The railgun hummed to life, magnetic fields rising along its rails. The projectile accelerated smoothly along the track, moving at incredible speed before disappearing into the depths of space. Seconds later, the sensors detected the projectile striking a small asteroid in the distance. A bright flash illuminated the darkness and a shockwave rippled across the sensor field. The alien scouts stopped abruptly, confused by the sudden event. "They don't understand," Zoe said. "They can't comprehend what just happened." Liam smiled faintly. "Exactly. And that confusion works in our favor." The aliens began to communicate among themselves, their signals frantic and filled with alarm. They had not expected such precision or speed. Reports came in that their ships had detected the energy discharge, but could not identify its source or nature. Liam knew that fear had begun to spread among the fleets. Humans had long been underestimated, and now the truth was becoming clear. Humans could fight back and humans could win. The Aurora shield remained in position, silent and powerful. Liam and Zoe monitored every movement, ready to act if needed. The alien fleets had slowed, unsure of how to proceed. Their numerical advantage was meaningless if one human weapon could destroy or disable multiple ships with a single shot. Hours passed, and the tension in the control room did not ease. Every beep, every signal, every sensor reading could mean a new threat or a new opportunity. Liam and Zoe worked together, checking coordinates, adjusting power levels, and preparing for any eventuality. Finally, the alien fleets began to retreat slightly, realizing that the humans had technology far beyond what they had expected. Liam watched the displays carefully. "They're learning," he said. "They see that humans are not weak. That one weapon changes everything." Zoe leaned over the console. "Do you think they'll attack again?" Liam considered this. "Yes, they will test us, push us, but that's fine. Every test makes us stronger. Every challenge proves that humans can rise to meet anything." The day ended with the Aurora shield in perfect readiness. Liam and Zoe took a moment to rest, sitting together in the observation room. Earth below continued to spin silently, unaware of the danger lurking beyond the jump points. Zoe looked at him. "Do you think humanity is ready for the galaxy?" Liam smiled faintly. "We have no choice but to be ready. And now, with the railgun, we are. They may have numbers, they may have fleets, but humans have courage, intelligence, and determination. And that will always make the difference." They watched the stars for a long time, thinking about what was to come. The alien fleets were still out there, moving cautiously, unsure of how to respond to the human weapon. Liam knew the moment of truth would come soon. When it did, the first human railgun would fire, and the galaxy would take notice. As night fell across Earth, the orbital station glowed in the sunlight, a silent guardian above the planet. Liam and Zoe prepared for the next day, knowing that humanity's moment had arrived. The railgun was ready, the crew was ready, and Liam understood the responsibility they bore. One shot could save millions of lives, or change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. He placed a hand on the railgun's massive rail. "We will do this," he whispered. "For Earth, for humanity, and for the future we deserve." Zoe stood beside him, determination in her eyes. "We are ready, Liam. Whatever comes, we face it together." The orbital station hummed quietly, waiting. The stars stretched endlessly beyond, silent witnesses to humanity's rise. And somewhere in the distance, alien fleets paused, unsure of what they were facing. Humanity had shown its hand, and the galaxy had taken notice. Liam looked at Earth once more, feeling a surge of pride and responsibility. The moment was coming. Soon, the first human railgun would fire, and when it did, the galaxy would never be the same. The alien fleets were closer now. Liam Harper and Zoe Parker watched the screens in the control room as tiny blips moved steadily toward human-monitored space. Hundreds of ships, all sleek, fast, and heavily armed. They moved with confidence, certain that humanity would do nothing to stop them. They were wrong. Liam's hands rested on the control panel, fingers brushing over switches and touchscreens. Every calculation he had made, every test he had conducted had led to this moment. The railgun, humanity's ultimate weapon, was ready. It could strike faster than any alien sensor could detect, and it could travel further than any alien projectile. Eric, the young engineer, tapped his screen nervously. "They're within 30 million kilometers of the jump point." "They are moving fast, but they haven't detected us yet." Liam nodded. "Good, keep the energy flowing. Do not alert them. We strike only once when the timing is perfect." Zoe looked at the approaching blips on the screen. "Do you think they will realize what we have?" "They will once it is too late," Liam replied. His voice was calm, but inside a fire burned. This was the moment humanity had been waiting for. For centuries, humans had been underestimated, dismissed, ignored. Now humans would make the galaxy pay attention. The alien fleets began to split into formations, scanning for threats. They had detected the earlier test shot, but they still did not understand the scale or power of the railgun. Their sensors could not measure the magnetic energy or predict the speed of the projectile. Liam had designed it that way intentionally. "Liam," Zoe said quietly, "the smaller ships are moving closer. They're scanning the outer perimeter if they get too close." "I know," he said, his eyes fixed on the screen, "but they won't reach us." He pressed a series of controls, aligning the railgun with the alien fleet's main formation. Calculations raced through his mind. Distance, speed, trajectory, gravitational influence, energy dispersal. Every number had to be perfect. One small mistake could send the shot off course, wasting humanity's chance. The railgun hummed quietly, a sound that seemed almost alive. Its rails glowed faintly as energy built within them, magnetic fields coiling, preparing to release a projectile at unimaginable speed. Liam felt the power of the weapon beneath his hands, solid and immense. "Ready to fire?" he asked, looking at Zoe. She nodded. "Ready." Liam took a deep breath. The moment had arrived. Slowly, carefully, he activated the firing sequence. The magnetic coils charged fully, and the projectile, a dense, reinforced metal slug, glowed faintly as it accelerated along the rails. The screens displayed the speed, distance, and trajectory in real time. Every number was exactly as he had calculated. The projectile left the railgun with a burst of energy that rippled across the platform. For a moment, the orbital station shook under the release of force. Liam gritted his teeth, focusing entirely on the screens. The projectile moved faster than light sensors could accurately track. It cut through the void of space, a streak of human ingenuity blazing toward the alien fleet. Moments passed, though it felt like hours. Every person in the control room held their breath. Then the projectile struck. The lead alien battleship exploded in a brilliant flash, energy and debris scattering across space. The sensors recorded the shockwave, sending ripples through the surrounding ships. Communication signals faltered. Systems that had been stable moments ago went dark. The alien commanders stared in disbelief at their monitors. They had never seen a weapon like this. One human shot had destroyed a capital ship and disrupted the formation of the fleet. Fear spread quickly among them. They had dismissed humans for centuries, but now they were realizing that Earth's inhabitants were not to be underestimated. Zoe's eyes were wide as she watched the reaction. They don't understand. They can't understand. Liam nodded, barely able to speak. And that is why humans survive. That is why we fight back. One shot, one brilliant calculation, and the galaxy begins to notice. The alien ships paused. Some attempted to retreat, but confusion ruled their actions. Their sensors could not detect the source of the shot, and their communication signals were jammed by the energy released. The humans had struck without warning, and the shock had frozen the aliens in place. Eric broke the silence. Liam, they're stopping. Every ship. They're not moving, it's like they've frozen. Liam stared at the screens. It was true. The fleets were suspended, uncertain, terrified. The first human railgun had fired, and the alien commanders were paralyzed by what they had witnessed. For the first time in recorded galactic history, humanity had shown its power in a way no alien could ignore. Zoe whispered, "They've never seen anything like this. They can't believe it." Liam leaned back slightly, feeling a mixture of relief and awe. Humans are underestimated because aliens only see numbers, fleets, weapons they understand. But humans think differently. Humans take risks. Humans invent. And humans strike when no one expects it. The control room remained tense. The alien fleets had not yet decided whether to retreat or continue the attack. Every second was critical. Liam kept his hands on the controls, monitoring the railgun and preparing for any necessary follow-up shots. "Commander Harper," Eric said, "there's a signal coming from their command ship. They're trying to communicate." Liam leaned forward, analyzing the transmission. It was fragmented, full of confusion and alarm. The aliens were trying to understand what had happened, but their technology could not explain it. "They want to negotiate," Zoe said quietly. "They don't know what else to do." Liam nodded. "Let them try to talk. We have shown them humanity is not weak. One weapon, one strike, and the galaxy can see the difference." The hours passed. The alien fleet slowly began to move, but now cautiously, keeping distance from the human orbital platform. Every attempt to advance was met with hesitation. Liam realized that one shot had changed the balance of power in this sector of space. He turned to Zoe. "This is only the beginning. One shot can stop them today, but humans will need more if they continue to test us. This railgun is a symbol, but we have to prepare for what comes next." Zoe nodded, her face determined. "We can handle it. Humanity is ready for the challenge." The orbital station settled into a tense quiet. The railgun, though fired once, remained ready. Liam and Zoe continued to monitor the alien fleets, knowing that the first shot had changed everything. Aliens across the galaxy would be talking about this day for years. Liam looked at Earth below. The planet spun silently, unaware of the battles being fought above. Millions of people lived their lives, going to work, sleeping, dreaming, completely unaware that humanity had just fired its first superweapon, and that the galaxy had stopped to watch. He thought of the human history that had led to this moment. From the first explorers in space, to the engineers who had built stations and ships, to the scientists who had pushed the limits of technology, every step had prepared them for this day. The first human railgun fired, and the message was clear. Humanity would not be ignored. Zoe touched his arm. "They fear us now," she said softly. "Yes," Liam replied, "and they should, but fear alone is not enough. We need to be ready for what comes next. They will not forget this, and neither will we." The alien fleets continued to drift, halted by confusion and fear. Liam knew this pause was temporary. They would regroup, they would analyze, and they would attempt again. But humans had a new advantage now, a weapon no one could match, and the mind to use it. Hours turned into days. Earth Command received reports of the alien fleet withdrawing, still shaken by the single strike. Humans on the planet began to notice changes in galactic broadcasts. Rumors spread about Earth's power, about the railgun, and about the engineers and crew who had fired it. Liam and Zoe watched from orbit, knowing that humanity had made its first true mark on the galaxy. "Do you realize what we've done?" Zoe asked quietly. Liam nodded. "Yes. We've shown that humans are not weak, that humans can fight back, and that humans can change the game with intelligence, courage, and determination. The first railgun fired, and the galaxy will never see us the same way again." He looked at the stars, thinking about what was to come. The alien fleets would not forget this day. They would prepare, study, and possibly strike again. But humanity had gained something more than victory. It had gained recognition, respect, and fear. The orbital station continued to orbit Earth, silent and vigilant. Liam and Zoe stayed at their stations, monitoring sensors, analyzing data, and preparing for the next challenge. They had fired the first human railgun, and the galaxy had stopped instantly. That moment would live in history, and Liam knew that humanity's journey had only begun. The stars stretched endlessly beyond, silent witnesses to the rise of a species that had been underestimated for too long. One shot, one weapon had shown that humans could fight, could win, and could change the rules of the galaxy forever. Liam placed his hand on the railgun, feeling the hum of energy still lingering in the rails. "This is just the start," he whispered. "The galaxy will learn to respect humanity, or it will learn the hard way." Zoe stood beside him, silent but resolute. Together, they watched the fleets retreat, knowing that the first shot had marked the beginning of a new era. The first human railgun had fired, and nothing would ever be the same. The galaxy was talking about humans now. News of the first railgun shot spread like fire through alien communications, carried by sensors, scouts, and intercepted messages. Some fleets refused to believe it at first. One weapon could not destroy a battleship, they thought. One weapon could not halt entire fleets. Yet the data was undeniable. The humans had done it, and they had done it with precision and power no one had ever imagined. Liam Harper sat in the control room of the Aurora Shield, watching the displays. The alien fleets were still retreating, but slowly, carefully, recalculating their approach. Sensors scanned for weaknesses, their signals filled with alarm and questions. Humanity had made the first move, and now the galaxy would respond. Zoe Parker stood beside him, arms folded. "Do you realize what we've done, Liam? They aren't just scared, they are trying to understand us. They are panicking." Liam nodded slowly. "Yes, fear is only part of it. But respect, or at least caution, has begun. Humans have changed the rules. For centuries, the galaxy has assumed we were weak. Now they know they cannot ignore us." Eric leaned over a console, pointing at a readout. "We're receiving communications from distant fleets. They want to negotiate, sort of. They don't know how to respond. They are asking for terms, trying to find out if humans have more weapons like this. Zoe frowned. They are afraid we might fire again. Yes, Liam said, and they should be. One railgun shot is proof that humans can act decisively, intelligently, and with precision. Imagine if we had more than one weapon like this, or a full fleet ready to use it. They would think twice before attacking anyone. The Aurora shield orbited silently, a massive presence above Earth. From below, the planet remained unaware of the storm that had passed in orbit. People continued with their daily lives, going to work, walking streets, and watching oceans and skies. But humans in space knew the truth. They had signaled their strength, and the galaxy could not dismiss them any longer. Liam watched the data carefully. Alien fleets were retreating in fits and starts. Smaller ships were probing, trying to understand the human weapon, while larger capital ships maintained distance. The humans had forced the aliens to pause, to reconsider every assumption about Earth and its people. "Do you think they will come back?" Zoe asked quietly. "They will," Liam said. "Every intelligent species will test a new threat. That is the way of the galaxy, but we are ready. The railgun has shown what humans can do. It is more than a weapon, it is a warning." The orbital station hummed with activity. Engineers monitored systems, adjusted energy flows, and prepared for any sign of renewed aggression. Even with the aliens paused, every crew member knew the first strike had changed nothing except the perception of humanity's power. The real challenge would come when aliens attempted a coordinated response. Liam moved along the observation deck, looking at Earth below. Oceans glittered under the sun, continents spread wide, peaceful and vulnerable. Humans had achieved something remarkable, but Liam knew they could not rely solely on fear. The galaxy was vast, and threats would continue to emerge. The railgun was a beginning, not the end. Zoe joined him, looking at the planet. "Do you think humans are ready for what comes next?" "They have to be," Liam replied. "We've shown that we can act decisively, that we can create something beyond what others expect. But one weapon is not enough. We need strategy, intelligence, and courage. Humanity has all of those things, and now the galaxy will have to acknowledge them." Communications from Earth Command began to stream in. Leaders were congratulating Liam, Zoe, and the crew for their success. Governments and space agencies discussed the implications. Humanity had entered a new era, one where it could no longer be ignored. "Look at this," Eric said, pointing at the display. "The reports say that fleets from neighboring sectors are delaying missions. They are recalculating their routes, afraid of humans." Zoe smiled. "It's working. They are respecting us even if they are scared." Liam nodded. "It's working because humans are clever. Aliens plan in patterns, but humans think differently. Creativity, courage, and surprise, that is humanity's advantage. One shot showed them that we do not follow their rules." The day passed slowly. The alien fleets remained on the edge of human-monitored space, hesitant to advance. Scouts returned with detailed observations of the railgun and the Aurora shield. Some sent messages attempting to negotiate or gather information. Every signal was met with caution by Earth Command, every move analyzed by Liam and his team. Zoe walked the platform with Liam. "Do you think they understand how dangerous humans are now?" Liam considered this. "Not fully. They know we are capable of unexpected power, but understanding us, that will take time. We are different from them. We take risks, innovate, and act decisively. One weapon is enough to make them pause, but only humans can change what happens next." Hours later, reports came from across the galaxy. Word of the railgun spread to alien governments, military councils, and fleets. Analysts attempted to understand what humans had done, but the complexity of the weapon, the precision of its fire, and the audacity of its use were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Some alien leaders began to fear humans genuinely. Others were angry, believing the humans had overstepped, that their fleets had been humiliated. Yet all of them understood one truth: Earth was no longer a minor planet. Humans had technology, intelligence, and courage that could not be ignored. Liam monitored these responses carefully. Fear will only get them so far, he said. Respect is earned through continued strength. Humans have shown a beginning. Now we need to show consistency, intelligence, and strategy. Zoe nodded. The first shot stopped them. But the next steps will define our place in the galaxy. Liam looked at the railgun. It remained silent but ready. Yes, we must continue to improve, to innovate, to be ready. The galaxy will test us again, and when it does, humans must be ready to meet the challenge. As night fell on Earth, Liam remained at the observation window. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the atmosphere, silent witnesses to humanity's rise. He thought about the future, the fleets that would test Earth's defenses, the alien leaders who underestimated humans, the innovations that had yet to be made. "We've changed the galaxy's perception," he said quietly to Zoe. "One shot can stop a fleet, but it is also a statement. A statement that humans are here, humans are clever, and humans are dangerous when pushed." Zoe smiled. "Do you think they understand that fully?" "No," Liam replied. "But they will learn. Slowly or quickly, it does not matter. Humans have begun their place in the galaxy. And no one can stop that now." Communications continue to arrive. Earth Command coordinated with orbital defenses, preparing for possible follow-up attacks. Engineers worked tirelessly, checking the railgun, monitoring energy systems, and running simulations. Every person on the platform understood that the first shot had been historic, but it was only the start. "Liam," Eric said, "we've detected unusual activity in a neighboring sector. Some alien fleets are reorganizing, possibly planning a response." "Good," Liam said. "Let them prepare. We have the advantage now. They know humans are unpredictable, and that fear will slow them. But humans will act strategically. That is our strength." Zoe placed a hand on his shoulder. "We've done something remarkable. One weapon, one shot, and the galaxy is talking about humans. Imagine what we can do next." Liam smiled faintly. "Yes, but next time we must be even smarter. The galaxy will not be intimidated forever. Humans must show strength, intelligence, and innovation at every step. One shot cannot secure our future. It only begins it." The orbital station remained vigilant through the night. Liam and Zoe worked alongside the crew, monitoring sensors, analyzing alien movements, and preparing contingency plans. Every calculation, every reading, every adjustment mattered. Humanity's survival and its growing reputation depended on careful strategy as much as courage. By the time the station's artificial night cycle ended, the alien fleets had fully retreated beyond the monitored zone. Humans had won a psychological victory. The railgun had stopped an invasion before it began, and the galaxy had been forced to take notice. Liam and Zoe stood together at the observation window, watching Earth rise below them. The planet glowed with life, silent and unaware of the struggles and victories occurring above. Humanity had proven that one shot, carefully placed and expertly executed, could change the course of history. Zoe broke the silence. "Do you think humans will ever stop being underestimated?" Liam shook his head. "No, but that is our advantage. Others never see the full potential until it is too late. We survive, we innovate, we strike when they are unprepared. That is what makes humans unique. And now the galaxy knows it." He looked at the railgun one last time. Silent, massive, and deadly, it waited for the next challenge. Liam knew that humanity's journey in the galaxy had only just begun. One shot had stopped the alien fleets. One shot had changed perceptions. But the next steps, the continued vigilance and the future innovations would define humanity's true place in the stars. As Earth rotated below, Liam whispered, "The first human railgun fired and the galaxy stopped. But this is only the beginning. Humanity's rise has just begun, and no one can stop it now." Zoe nodded silently beside him. Together, they prepared for the next chapter, knowing that humans had entered a new era, one of power, respect, and opportunity. The first shot had made history, but the future would be written by every human willing to think, fight, and rise beyond expectation. The galaxy was no longer the same. News of the first human railgun spread like wildfire through alien sectors, governments, and fleets. Some leaders doubted the reports, thinking them exaggerated. Others trembled at the idea that one planet had created a weapon capable of stopping entire fleets with a single shot. Humanity had forced itself onto the galactic stage, and now it had to prove that it belonged there. Liam Harper stood in the control room of the Aurora Shield, watching multiple screens at once. Each display showed distant stars, fleets, and communication signals from far-off systems. Alien fleets were still hesitant, recalculating their strategies, unsure how to approach humans. Some were sending scouts, others were trying to communicate. Every signal carried fear, respect, or disbelief. Zoe Parker entered quietly, carrying a tablet filled with the latest reports. "They're talking to each other," she said. "Commanders across 3 sectors are sending warnings. They've never seen anything like this. The humans are changing how they think about us." Liam nodded. "It's working. Fear makes them cautious, but respect makes them careful. We've started the conversation, and now humans must be ready for what comes next." Eric, the young engineer, looked up from his console. "Commander, we've detected movements near the outer sectors. Several fleets are regrouping, but slowly. They're waiting, as if unsure what humans will do next." Liam leaned back, thinking, "Good, let them wait. They have underestimated us for too long. Let them see that humanity does not rely on numbers alone. Humans use creativity, courage, and precise action. They will learn that soon enough." The Aurora Shield orbited silently, massive and imposing, carrying the railgun that had already proven its power. Liam walked along the observation deck, thinking about Earth below. People went about their lives, unaware of what was happening in orbit and beyond. They had no idea that their planet had fired the first weapon that could stop fleets, that humanity was no longer just another world in the galaxy. Zoe joined him, her eyes on the blue planet. "Do you think they will attack again?" "Yes," Liam said. "They will test us. Every intelligent species tests new threats, but we are ready. We have proven one thing: humans are unpredictable and humans act decisively. That will make them pause before acting." Communication signals continued to arrive from distant fleets. Alien governments demanded explanations, asked questions, and some even offered negotiations. Humanity responded cautiously. They did not need to threaten, they only needed to show readiness. One railgun shot had stopped fleets. Humans now had time to prepare for the next move. Liam focused on a cluster of signals. They are planning a coordinated reconnaissance. They want to understand how humans built the railgun, where it is located, and what it can do. "That is good. Curiosity and caution are better than blind aggression." Zoe frowned. "Do you think humans will need to fire again?" "Perhaps," Liam said, "but we will choose our time carefully. Humans do not waste power. We act with purpose, and every move counts. One shot can stop an attack, but one shot cannot define humanity. We need to show consistency, intelligence, and strength across every action." The day passed slowly. Earth Command coordinated with the Aurora Shield, ensuring every defense system was operational. Engineers ran simulations, checking every detail of the railgun, its energy levels, and the orbital platform. Every system was double-checked, every calculation confirmed. Humanity had learned that preparation was as important as courage. Liam walked to the control panel, observing the alien fleets on the sensors. Smaller ships tested the boundaries of human-monitored space, moving cautiously, sending signals and observing. Larger ships held back, maintaining distance. Humanity had forced them to pause, to reconsider, and to fear. "Do you think they will strike us?" Zoe asked. They may try, Liam said, but now they hesitate. That hesitation gives humans an advantage. They do not understand our speed, our precision, or our willingness to act when necessary. That is what humans have always had. That is why we survive and thrive. Hours later, reports arrived of alien fleets retreating further. Some were sending messages asking for terms of peace, some for trade, and some simply to understand humans. Earth Command analyzed every signal, deciding how to respond carefully. Humanity was no longer hiding. Humans were negotiating from a position of strength. Liam turned to Zoe. Do you see what has happened? One weapon, one shot changed everything. Humans are no longer ignored. We are no longer assumed weak. We are a force that the galaxy must respect. Zoe nodded. And this is only the beginning. Liam smiled faintly. Yes. The next steps will define our place in the galaxy. One shot showed our power, but now we must demonstrate wisdom, strategy, and innovation. Humans will rise not just through weapons, but through thinking differently than others, through acting when needed, and through refusing to be overlooked. The night passed on Earth, and the Aurora shield remained vigilant. Liam and Zoe worked with their team, monitoring movements, analyzing data, and preparing for any challenge. The alien fleets were cautious, unsure of humanity's next action. They had seen one shot, and that one shot had changed their calculations. Eric spoke up from his console. Commander, some fleets are sending messages of alliance, surprisingly. They are curious about humans, perhaps even willing to work with us. Liam raised an eyebrow. Curiosity and respect. That is more valuable than fear alone. Humans can build relationships, alliances, and trust. We can use the galaxy's misunderstanding of us to create opportunity. That is our advantage, Zoe smiled. Humans have changed history today. One shot and the galaxy is taking notice. Can you imagine what we can do if we continue to innovate? Yes, Liam said, looking out at the stars. Humans will continue to rise. This is not the end. One railgun shot stopped fleets, yes, but it also started something bigger. Humans are here to stay, to explore, to innovate, and to show that no one should underestimate us. Earth remained peaceful below, unaware of the victories above. Liam thought about the people who would never know how close they had come to danger, how humanity had fired its first shot and stopped alien fleets before war could begin. It was a quiet triumph, but a powerful one. Zoe looked at him. Do you think humans will ever stop surprising the galaxy? Liam shook his head. No, and that is our strength. Humans survive because they are unpredictable, they think differently, they act decisively, and now the galaxy knows it. One shot was proof. Now it is time to show that humans will continue to rise. In the following days, humanity's presence in space grew. The Aurora shield became a symbol of human ingenuity and courage. Aliens began to approach Earth differently, with caution and respect. Humanity negotiated alliances, shared technology carefully, and reinforced defenses across key sectors. The railgun remained silent but ready, a constant reminder of what humans could achieve. Liam and Zoe continued to work tirelessly, preparing for future challenges, knowing that the first shot had opened doors but also drawn attention. Humanity was no longer just another planet. It was a force to be reckoned with. Zoe spoke quietly as they watched distant fleets retreat. Do you think they understand the full potential of humans now? Not fully, Liam replied. But they will. They have seen what one weapon can do, one calculated action. Humanity's power is not in numbers alone. It is in intelligence, courage, and the ability to act decisively when needed. They will learn that over time. Communication channels continued to hum with activity. Some alien fleets tried to observe humans, others began cautious contact, and a few sent scouts with respect and fear. Every action reinforced the message. Humanity was no longer weak, and humanity was ready. Liam stood at the observation window, looking at Earth. The planet was beautiful, fragile, and alive. Millions of people lived unaware of the events above, of the railgun, of humanity's first true demonstration of power. And yet, humanity had changed the galaxy forever. He turned to Zoe. The first human railgun fired, and it changed everything. One shot stopped fleets, forced respect, and showed that humans will no longer be dismissed. But this is only the start. The galaxy will continue to test us, challenge us, and fear us. Humans must rise to meet it, and we will. Zoe placed her hand on his shoulder. We've done something incredible, and the future, it is ours to shape. Liam nodded. Yes, the future is ours. One railgun shot was proof. Now, humans will continue to show courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. The galaxy has seen the beginning of humanity's rise. Nothing will ever be the same. The Aurora shield remained in orbit, a silent guardian, carrying a weapon that had already written history. Humanity had fired its first railgun, stopped alien fleets, and forced the galaxy to notice. And above Earth, Liam and Zoe stood, ready for whatever would come next. Humanity had begun its rise, and there was no turning back. The stars stretched endlessly beyond, filled with possibilities, challenges, and opportunities. The first human railgun had fired, the galaxy had stopped, and humanity had begun its journey toward dominance, respect, and recognition in the universe. Liam whispered quietly, looking at Earth, at the stars, at the distant fleets. We are humans, we act, we survive, we rise, and no one, no fleet, no empire will ever forget it. Zoe nodded beside him, silent but resolute. Together, they watched the galaxy, knowing that humanity's rise had begun, and that the first shot was only the beginning of a new era, an era where humans would no longer be underestimated.